I am like really upset right now that someone did this. That's dangerous. Like, dangerous.
All right, back in the hot seat for confessionals. We have a client, George, who bought a 1991 Range Rover Defender 110 with the 200 TDI diesel engine that was not sold in the US, it was sold in Europe only. Very cool car. I mean, like, it's badass. It looks like you could rock crawl through the desert or through like the end of the world in this thing. It's freaking awesome. Unfortunately, under the covers, the car was never really given a lot of love. So we've been going through a project with George on refurbishing, quite frankly, everything mechanical under the car. And it's a good thing, because anytime we take anything off, you know, it came from the factory in England. Nobody has touched a lot of things, or the things that were touched were not really done by someone who I think was mechanically adept at all. So yeah, it's been a lot of work, you know? The engine, like, it has a timing belt. Let's talk about timing belt for a second. Who thought it was a good idea to take a very complex bit of mechanical gears and pistons and things that move, okay? And they get really close to each other, but they never touch supposedly, and hold this whole assembly together with a rubber band, commonly known as a timing belt. Yeah, I don't understand it. So anyway, did the timing belt. When we took the cover off, it was like rubber, like shaved rubber all over the inside of the timing cover. It was atrocious. We did the high pressure fuel pump, we did the turbo, we did the exhaust, we did the glow plugs. I mean, really, we gave this vehicle a lot of love mechanically.
We have the leveler for the hydraulic suspension, and this basically would bolt to a set of arms here that would almost have like a wishbone effect on the rear axle to keep it centered and level.
The motor was running great. We also upped the boost a bit, so she's got some snot in her. Love the truck. Love the truck. I had a client come to us. He said like a looseness or a funny sound vibration in the front of his Lexus.
And you could hear clink, clunk, clunk.
What are you hearing now?
It's like almost.
Could it be something fluttering somewhere? Do you want me to drive it?
Yeah, drive it. But the only thing is, there's an actual noise here. The only thing I've ever found was noises.
What
First
speed?
one was the axle.
What speed?
It can be slow, fast.
David and I took it out for a drive, and sure enough, it was just at certain times and certain speeds. And what Dave had determined was it was the half shaft or the axles in the front were starting to fail, and that's what was causing the bit of the vibration in the car. So client brought us a 550, regular maintenance type stuff on the car, nothing extravagant. And you know, while we're doing the inspection, I noticed that a couple of the bolts near the rear differential, the mounts, were loose.
So the two main bolts, I'll send you a video. I took a video of me moving the nuts with my fingers, okay?
This is the rattle. Diff bolts on both sides are loose. I don't know who was messing with the car before.
I don't know who was working on the car before, but they left those bolts loose, like dead loose.
And when I asked the client, hey, who was the last person who maintained the car? And what they said? The dealership.
Not slightly, dead loose.
And I don't mean loose like, oh, I got it. No, I'm talking like the bolt called to me. I reached up and I went, woodchuck look, Becky. Like, bolts on a car should never be this loose.
I am like really upset right now that someone did this. That's dangerous. Like, dangerous.
Sad state of affairs.
Now the problem is, because those bolts were loose and the diff was moving around, there's a bushing in the carrier. I took a picture of that for you as well. That bushing is now torn. So at some point, you're gonna need to come back so we can replace that bushing for you. It's not like ripped out or anything, so I don't wanna alarm you, but I'll send you the picture so you see it. There is a tear in part of the bushing now, and I'm confident that's because those bolts were left loose and the diff was moving around so much.
As you can see, they hold the differential to the carrier and they hold the exhaust. So these were finger tight a few minutes ago, right here, these bolts.
I can see it has an oil leak here, right? You can see it's very wet. This is the oil filter.
Again, on these motors, you know, the oil filter housing stand, it's called, oil filter housing stand, gasket, very commonly fails. It's a rubber gasket, it's like a couple of dollar gasket that lives between the oil filter housing and the engine. And just from heat cycles and such, the rubber starts to deteriorate, and guess what? You got high pressure oil in there, so you get an oil leak. Super common problem on a lot of modern BMWs.
Anyway, so I just wanted to tell you, that was the rattle. So I'm gonna take the car from the drive once he's done to make sure there's nothing, I don't hear anything else. But she should be ready to pick up at the end of the day, my friend. Okay?
Anyway, it ended well. We tightened the bolts, we put everything back together like it should be, and he's off driving his car that he loves. Booyah, baby.
Okay, so 370Z, and the client has an issue saying it will not go above 50 miles an hour.
A client calls us up and says, I've got an interesting problem. I have a Nissan 370Z Nismo edition, very cool car by the way, like a real go-kart, and it won't go above 55 miles an hour. So I thought, that's weird. So he dropped it off. We looked at it, plugged in our scan tool, and took the car for a drive to see what the run parameters are, because sometimes there could be a sensor that's having an issue that's saying, hey dude, we have a problem, you're limited to speed. Nothing, everything looks great. So I talked to the client, he said, oh yeah, I did flash a tune on the car. I thought, let me look the tune up.
After some research, we realized that the tune that he has a valet mode. So we're gonna switch the valet mode off because I'm pretty confident that's the issue.
So I go to the car, I go into the tuning menu, and sure enough, it's in valet mode. So I take valet mode off, take the car for a spin.
So let's go for a quick drive. Let's see if we can go above 50 miles an hour now. So let's go see.
Let me just put my seatbelt on.
Video to this. All right, let's see what we got here, Miss Blaine. Yeah, I gotta go on Route 10. I'm not gonna make it here. You know, these Z cars feel like go-karts. They handle really well. They feel like, you know, like your little race car. They're awesome. The motor, the VQ series motor, not the most smoothest, finely tuned engine. You know what I mean? They're a little rough to me, the engines, but the chassis are fun. You know, I had a 77 280ZX that I adored back in the day. It was a really fun car. So this brings me back to that. And we actually do have a client with a 78, I believe, 280ZX that came here for some restoration work. And can I tell you, getting in that car reminded me of college. Remember being in college in that car, loved it. It just, cool car, very cool car. I think they've aged pretty well too. So in a few moments, we'll see the moment of truth to see if we can go above 50 miles an hour in this 370 now, which then we can call that ka-chow, baby! Oh my God, Becky, look at all this traffic. What the hell? What time is it? Oh my God, come on, people. I got a car to test. Talk about building anticipation. I'm dying to find out if the car's okay now. Come on, dude, go, go, go. Yes, you can do it. You can do it.
Oh my God.
Nope, still in ballet mode. Okay, so I'm gonna pull over, try it again. Do you feel that though?
Yeah.
It's like it hits a hard wall at 50. Look at that. That's it. We're stuck at 50. Look at that.
The plot thickens.
So that was proving that we're in a stuck, I think, valet mode. I'm gonna pull into the parking lot over here. We're gonna reset the tune, and then we'll see what we see. Over to here real quick. Let's try this again. So I hold this down. Goes the tune. We're in tune 3. 8. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see if that reset it. I can't wait to say ka-chow. I love that line. Ka-chow, baby. I don't think we got Maya. Guess what? Problem solved.
Guess what? We can go above 55 miles an hour.
That was it. Is that funny?
Yeah. I wonder how he just stumbled across that.
He was probably messing with the tune. Don't know what you're doing, don't mess with it. I find these cars too have a blind spot, like right here on the A-pillar. Like, I can't see anything because the way that side view mirror is sized and placed, it totally blocks my vision in that corner, which makes me uncomfortable. Different cars, different people. It is a lovely car though. This is a 370Z Nismo edition. This is their uprated version, which is kind of cool. There's no back seats. That's a rear tower bar. That stiffens up the rear of the car, so there's not much flex in the rear of the car, which makes the car handle better. That's what that bar is for. Race cars with full cages will have a bar welded across the rear strut towers for that same exact reason. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I cannot see out of that corner, so I can't be precise where I place the car going to the corner. I'm getting a little bit of vibration from the front rotors when I hit the brakes. There's a little bit of vibration coming in, which means the front rotors have either a little bit of pad material on them or a little warpage. Otherwise, the car is really quite nice. Handle's nice. It's got, how many? 48,000 miles, so it's a relatively, young car. It's in nice shape. He keeps it nice and clean. It feels pretty solid, actually.
It's relatively simple. So, ka-chow, baby!
We scanned the car. Dave checked everything like there's no errors in your car. Your car is stunningly error-free. Okay, that's the first thing. Then he plugged in our scan tool and ran all of the active data elements that the car will share. He took the car for a drive. Okay, we were checking wheel speed sensors, the vehicle speed sensor, all of those parameters to see, because like I told you, if a wheel speed sensor is faulting, right? It's going to send the ECU a false signal and may think, oh, we're going 150 miles an hour, no good, right? Everything checked out. The car is beautiful. Everything checked out. So I just took the car out. In fact, your car is going to show up on our next episode of our reality show, by the way. but I also took video to show you that when the valet mode was on, you're right. You would hit 50 miles an hour and it was a hard stop. The car was like, nope, you get nothing. And that's why I knew it was a tune issue, because everything else in the car was perfect. So anyway, then I played with the tune settings and I turned valet mode off. You want map 2 or map 3? The only thing is, and it's just starting, when I hit the brakes, I get a little bit of vibration from the front. And what that means to me, either you have pad deposits on the front, or your rotors are just starting to get a little bit warped, just a little bit, okay? But it's nothing you need to deal with right now. Listen, I'm gonna go out and set the map to 1 right now, and I'll take it out on the test drive, okay? And I'll make sure, but literally, I didn't experience that at all with the pedal. I mean, I don't like to throw parts at something, but like I said, what it could be is your pedal itself, like I said, is a switch. Maybe this switch is having faults in it, you know what I'm saying? But electrically, the switch is fine because when we did our scan report, the scan report would have showed a problem with the throttle position switch, right? It doesn't show that. So I hesitate on just throwing parts at your car, you know what I mean? I mean, that's just gonna cost you money, and if I can't replicate it, again, whatever you want me to do, I'll do, but I didn't experience that. And then if you want to pick her up tonight, you're welcome to come tonight to pick her up. Okay, very good. All right, my friend, not at all. I'll see you later. Be well, bye-bye.
Another satisfied customer. What we have here, my friends, is a M2 Competition CS. It is a special version of the M2 Competition. It's a lovely car. So we are setting her up very nicely. Not everyone understands the importance of a good alignment on a car. It can absolutely transform a car. I've had people tell me that their car was unstable, didn't feel right, didn't handle well. We do a setup on the car, it's beautiful. I had one fellow come in, and you know who you are, with a 1200 horsepower Corvette, and he said, Mo, you know, my car's been trying to kill me since day one. You know, I take off on it and the car just is all over the place. And I said, look, I don't really do, you know, drag strip cars, but you know what? I can do a little noodling. I can think about suspension and think about some specs which make sense to me on the car, and we can give it a shot. So he said, sure. So I did, set it up the way I liked it, and I said, go try it. I mean, let me know how the car handles. He called me back the next time he was out and said, oh my God, dude, never in the time I've owned the car has it ever gone that straight before. I got on it, it just squatted a bit, hooked up, and took off. And all of his friends were like, dude, we've never seen your car go like that. And he told me that when I asked him those questions, like, oh, what'd you do, how'd you do it? He said, he gave them one answer. You know what the answer was? Mo, we have a team here. So, you know, it's usually a collaboration between myself and the guys in the team in terms of, you know, setup, suspension, stuff like that. But I'm very proud of the work that we do here. So remember, setup, setup, setup. There's no better way to get the most out of your car than a good, proper setup. Remember, subscribe, like, and share with your friends, okay? And enjoy the drive. As Maya would say, I'm out.
Somebody find me a preacher so I can buy the rights.
Internet rats. We hate rats. Remember that. They should all die. Rats. Trolls. Internet trolls.